Hey there, Scipio here, and it's ridiculously cold outside, but I've got work to do. I'm gonna be installing this and this into overclocked with the help of this. That's right, it's dual battery day. Yeah, so of course I would have preferred to have a little nicer weather for this operation, but to be honest with you, this is as good as it's gonna get for a while. So I'm not gonna do a extensive how-to video. To be honest with you, I don't need to, because the guys at Genesis Off-Road have done an amazing job on their install video, and there are several other videos you can find on their website or on YouTube of other installers doing a detailed video. So I'm just gonna install this, and I'm gonna show you anything that I have to run into that might be different. For example, I have a circuit breaker here on the factory battery tray for my winch that I'm gonna have to relocate, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. And I have a non-factory air box, but it uses some of the factory mounting bolts, so I'm gonna have to still sort of manage that as if I had a factory air box. But anyway, I'm gonna go knock this thing out. And by the way, the batteries, let me tell you about those. So for this build, I'm going with Odyssey Extreme. These are the Group 34 PC 1500. If you Google what's the best battery, you'll run into a couple options. It'll be the Odyssey, and you'll see Optima. The problem I ran into with Optima is, for as many people that say it's the best battery in the world, there are other people who say, yeah, that has changed. They're not the same anymore. But with Odyssey, their reputation still stands very strong. So I thought, you know what, go big or go home. So it's Odyssey Extreme all the way. That's gonna give me the best chance of never having to worry about these batteries again. So, you know, I've got some big trips planned. I got a trip to Moab planned for next year, and it makes sense to ensure that I've got good quality batteries under there. So anyway, that's why I went with Odyssey. Got a lot of great recommendations and feedback from you guys, and Odyssey was pretty much on top of that list. So that's why we're there. I do have two of these Group 34s, not the reverse kind. The standard JK battery has reverse polarity post. You need the normal one. So even though I had this brand new diehard in here, I can't use it. I had to get two new batteries. Let me get to knocking this thing out, and I'll check it with you from time to time and show you anything interesting I run across. All right, so first thing I'll point out here is my aftermarket lower air box. This is from the Rugged Ridge snorkel. I've got a snorkel here, runs through underneath, you can see there, goes into a silicone 90 degree, comes up in here, and as you can see, it reuses two of the factory mounting positions. That third one is unused by this, but because of that, I do need to retain this part of the factory battery tray. So this is gonna work out basically just like a stock airbox for me. And then there's another look at that circuit breaker. This enables my winch, and then disables the winch, and then has a breaker that will trip if I pull too many amps. So anyway, let's keep going. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery now and start taking off the rest of this electronics. I do want to talk about one important point, and that is you should always disconnect the negative, the ground cable first. And the reason is, if I accidentally touch this to ground, let's say I short it with a wrench to something, no harm, no foul, because it's already grounded. If I start with the positive side and I accidentally hit something grounded with the wrench, for example, I'm going to short, because the battery is still connected to both positive and negative, and electricity is going to jump from the positive through the wrench or me or whatever into ground, and that's bad. And that's why you want to remove your ground cable first, and then also when you reassemble, the ground cable should be the last one. If the ground cable's off and you touch the positive side to ground, nothing's gonna happen, because nothing's connecting the other side of the battery. So it really is a good safety practice. So anyway, there you go, smarter every day. Man, there are these little wiring tie downs everywhere. Just sort of making my way around. Trying to be careful. One of the problems with doing this when it's cold is the plastic's more brittle than it would be if it was hot. So got to really make sure you don't pull too hard on things because you don't want to break anything. So the hard part is done. You ever do one of those puzzles that seem like they're impossible unless you get it just right and know the exact solution? That's kind of what this is like. I thought there's no way this thing's gonna come out of here. But you just gotta kind of work at it and keep at it. Eventually it's gonna come out. I do have my circuit breaker here that I'm gonna remove from this, but I figured it was easier to take it off from here than it was to try and disconnect the back, because that was kind of a pain to do originally. So you can see what we have going on here. It's a good time to do some inspections and check things out. Now, one thing I did, I kind of cheated. I didn't completely disassemble that lower air box because I have the silicone hose for the air intake. I just let it be flexible like it's good at doing and bent that out of the way. But man, do I have a lot of existing cables here. So the more aftermarket stuff you've done with electronics, the more challenging this is going to be. I've got CB antenna cable, I've got winch lines, I've got CB power and ground, I have air compressor cable, I got all kinds of stuff happening here. But this will all be cleaned up very soon. But really getting the factory battery tray out was the hard part. Hopefully it should go a lot easier. But anyway, take some time, inspect, make sure everything looks good. If you've got an intake like I do, you can now easily inspect that whole setup, so that's kind of cool. Didn't get that view when I installed it. That would have been nice. All right, so one thing I did notice while I was in here inspecting is this wire loom that runs across used to have a plastic loom on it, a cover, and it all rotted away and sort of has fallen apart. I was chipping pieces of it off. So that leaves these wires a little more exposed than they were from the factory. I don't know if it's just heat, I'm guessing, that caused that to break down. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple more layers of electrical tape around this just to give it some more protection than it has now. And then I also have this hose that is cracked. It's the breather. I'll have to probably, I'll buy another one of those eventually as well. But for now, for this install, once I put in the new battery tray, it's probably going to cover part of this up, so I'm going to go ahead and tape that up right now. All right, I'd be real careful, make sure I get all my wires out of the way and my airline. I had to just adjust my airline placement a little bit. Here's a little trick to getting that long bolt down there. This guy, if you have any little magnetic tool or anything like that, it'll definitely help. This is just one of those telescoping magnets from a parts store. Now, when I took off that bolt, the bottom fender retainer fell out, so I'm gonna go underneath and put this on the other side of that. Just personal preference for me, but I like to finish them all off by hand so I can feel how tight things are instead of trying to guess how much torque I'm putting on things. Battery tray is in, and that went in a lot easier than the old one came out for sure. Alright, so I'm ready to put the batteries in. I've got pretty much everything all done. My air box is back in, relocated the evap solenoid, and cut the line. It was all easy. Like I said, the instructions on Genesis Off-Road are like spot on. So all these extra things are things I've added that I'm going to figure out how to add them to the system. But I'm ready now to add in 2 batteries. All right, so for my winch, remember I've got this circuit breaker, which I also use as an on-off switch for the winch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it right here on the front of this. There's 2 mounting holes right here that I can use, and that will allow me to easily get to it to flip it on and off. And then looking at the existing cable I have, this will run nicely over to this accessory post, just like that. And then my load is on this side, which I can also run around and connect through here somehow. So I think that'll be a good spot, out of the way and solid. So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go right there. All right, so I pretty much have everything wired up. I'm ready to do the final battery connections. I like to call this controlled chaos. It looks messy, but it really does. I have a lot of stuff going on here, and I was able to really make it work very nicely. Again, my winch breakers there. Now I do have some wires that aren't ideal, that are run through places, but I was dealing with existing wiring, and unless I wanted to cut, move, resplice, change lengths, it's like, you know, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So I'm ready to start connecting to the vehicle. And I've lost that blasted nut. Where the heck? It's been sitting up here. Commercial break. All right, we're back in business. I found it. It slipped off right into there. I was worried I was gonna have to halt the whole project to go to the parts store. So I'm tightening these down before I tighten the battery post connection so that I can make sure everything's lined up right. So you may notice it's a little dark outside. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging and stop the install in the middle, but the family wanted to go see Star Wars, and who am I to say no to that? So I left with just one more battery connection to make, and I'm gonna make that right now, even though it's dark outside, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so let me knock this out. So there we go, that's it, dual batteries installed with the Genesis Off-Road dual battery tray. Got dual Odyssey Extremes in here, and as you can see, my winch switch. So yeah, I should have power in the Jeep. I guess I should go see if that's actually the case. All right, looks like I've got Jeep power. That's awesome. That's what I need. So guys, that's it. I'm done. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.